In the second part of the 7th season, we're going to dive into what happened to Jemmy. I was hoping to hear this story in the first half, but instead, they skipped over it while Roger and Buck were crossing the stones. Since I've been so eager and curious, I decided to look into it through the books to get a better grasp of what happened to Jemmy and what might unfold in the second part. Today, I'm here to share my findings. Before we kick off the video, you should know that this content contains plenty of plot spoilers. If you're ready to take that leap, let's get started. As you may remember, the last time we saw this storyline was when Brianna brought Buck and Roger to the stones, and then the story just stopped. In an echo in the bone, we see Brianna and Mandy returning to Lallybroch. Brianna feels lonely because most of the people she loves are in the past, except for Mandy. While reading, Brianna notices some movement in the house and discovers Rob Cameron is there. It turns out he hasn't crossed the stones. Instead, he wants to force Brianna to make a gemstone for treasure hunting. Meanwhile, Jemmy finds himself in a dark and cold place. It seems Rob really did take Jemmy to the stones, but when he saw the gemstone vanish through them, he pulled Jemmy back and hid him in the tunnel, where Rob had held Brianna as part of his twisted game. Knowing that Jemmy is still alive and relatively safe is a relief, but there's more going on. At some point, Jemmy senses the presence of his sister, Mandy, and knows she's safe. I love their bond, it's so sweet and touching. That's what we learn from an echo in the bone, though much of the plot gets wrapped up in the 8th book. I believe the show needs to quickly resolve this storyline in Season 7 to focus on other plots for the final part. So, let's dive into Written in My Own Heart's Blood, or as Diana calls it, Moby. This book reveals many important details in the Outlander universe, including Roger and Buck's past, but I won't go into that to avoid spoiling the experience for you. While the gemstone is still in the tunnel, Jemmy feels the vibrations as he passes through the stones again, but fortunately, he hasn't actually gone back in time. Back at Lallybroch, Rob tries to attack Brianna, but she fights back and locks him in the priest's crypt. When Rob says that Jemmy has no food or water, Brianna realizes Jemmy is still in the present, making Roger's trip back in time completely unnecessary. Brianna wakes up Mandy, and with her help, they start searching for Jemmy. On the other hand, Jemmy finds shelter and starts recounting what happened to him. While he's talking, someone grabs him, but thankfully, Jemmy smartly bites the guy and manages to escape. With Mandy's help, Brianna realizes that Jemmy is in the factory, and the police have also arrived. However, the man who grabbed Jemmy gets away, proving that Rob isn't acting alone. Brianna eventually gets Jemmy back, and they head to Lallybroch, but Rob hasn't given up. Knowing that Lallybroch is no longer safe, Brianna decides to look for Fiona for help. Fiona is more than happy to assist and looks after the kids while Brianna works on making Lallybroch safer. But Rob isn't going down without a fight, especially since there's gold involved. He keeps harassing them and even injures Fiona. After a series of tense events, Brianna realizes she has no choice but to escape to America for a while. In the end, Brianna, Jemmy, and Mandy cross the stones at Cray Na Dun to find Roger in the past, with the help of Lionel Menzies, the schoolmaster, managing to evade Rob and his gang. Now, I'm really curious about what's going to happen next. Will Brianna and the kids manage to travel back to Roger's time? And if so, what will they decide to do? Lallybroch isn't safe anymore, and that saddens me. Brianna and Roger did everything to make it a real home, and they have important letters from Jamie and Claire. I hope we don't hear anything more about Rob Cameron so the Mackenzie family can live in peace. What do you think is going to happen to the Mackenzie family? Do you think the show will continue their story in the second part? Share your thoughts in the comments below. If you like this video, please hit the like button and share it with your friends. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel for more exciting videos like this one.